persons, use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a crime, distribution of weapons, involvement in hate crimes, domestic violence, theft, larceny, animal cruelty not enumerated. Now, they've got the included but not limited to clause, but do you really want to trust your entire future, the thing that you're basing your league's disciplinary policy to, it included but not limited to? And moreover, do you want to start enforcing this against people who've not been convicted, merely accused? So, to a degree, Goodell dodged a big bullet of having to force his hand, because you know when Al Sharpton and PETA come together, the end of the world is not far behind. So he got out of a big bind on this one by pleading guilty, and I'm sure he'll amend this to include some other enumerated offenses involving violence and cruelty. But this is the NFL's personal conduct policy. There is a double-edged sword, and I'm not sure that Roger Goodell is going to survive this. And this is why Fay Vincent, the last commissioner of baseball, who truly had all the power of the commissioner, is posing for a picture with me as opposed to being commissioner anymore, is that what did he do? He suspended Pete Rose from baseball ultimately. He suspended Marge Schott and forced her to sell the franchise. He suspended George Steinbrenner for cavorting with gamblers. And you know what the owners said? We need somebody who's less disciplinary oriented. We'd like to have somebody who's more of our guy. And what did baseball do? They hired an owner to be the commissioner. So commissioners have to a degree, be consensus builders in this process. And while Fay Vincent may be the last true commissioner in the sense of powerful commissioners, Roger Goodell might in 2 or 3 years, I guess he's got a 5-year contract, so 3 years from now, might be finding, unless he can find some achievement or some success in his personal conduct policy and in cleaning up the game, he may be finding himself the former commissioner, and he'll be posing for a picture with me. All right, so here's what Goodell needs, and here's what the sports world needs, because you and I all know as lawyers that penalties aren't enough. Penalties are not enough. I can define what a real offense is, and that's my job is. That's what I learned to do. Oh, this isn't his third offense, this is only his second offense because the first offense wasn't enumerated, it was only a violation, not a right. This is what you're going to be doing with your lives. We can argue over stuff. But do you really want to create the penalty phase? Do you really want to go out and make the locker room a probation unit? Or do you need a cultural change? Do you need something that reconnects sports and those athletes back to the fans, back to the people who love them? People that you can, maybe you're a lost generation, except for the guy who will do anything for Bama. Maybe we're a lost generation in the sense that maybe we won't ever re-find our heroes, but don't we want our children to go find those heroic people? Don't we want to go find those role models again and connect with them? And here's my plan. And it's a way to change the culture in the locker room. I did a study last year, and I'm going to tap on this only for a second because it's one plan, it's not the only plan. But you know what the one thing that the players who got arrested last year had in common? It wasn't that they were white or black, it wasn't that they had liked to listen to country or rap or something else. You know the one thing they largely had in common? 20 out of 21 had lacked their college degree. And in the NFL, about 47% of the players have their degree. Let me give you another point. This will make you really mad. The NFL gives every active player $15,000 a year to go to school. Free money, not their money. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. They get $15,000 a year to go. They can do a semester. Steve Young went to law school at Brigham Young for 6 years, 1 semester at a time, and earned his law degree while playing quarterback for the 49ers. Bart Oates did the same thing while playing center for the 49ers. There are players still doing this. But the vast majority of players, what are they doing? They're sitting around doing bad stuff. That's a gross overstatement. Most players are not doing bad stuff, but there are enough that are. But the ones that are doing bad stuff, the ones that are the Pac-Man Joneses, and I'll only try to tell this anecdote. I was a young assistant district attorney when I mispronounced the defendant's name. It was actually misprint on the chart. Mr. Castrovinci has, the judge stops me and goes, Mr. Boland, Mr. Castrovinci was here long before you, he's a defendant, mind you. Mr. Castrovinci has been here long before you were here, and he'll be here long after you've left. The least you can do is pronounce his name right. He has a 72-page rap sheet. It wasn't in my file because it was too large to put in my file. The court officer came up with it later. Okay. So you don't want the NFL to be the home of the 72-page rap sheet, or as we used to joke, the judge I worked for used to joke, doing life 15 days at a time. You want it to be the place where we have heroes. You want the Major League Baseball locker room to be the place where we have heroes, not wondering whether it was the clear or the cream or just an extensive weight workout that did this. We want to have faith. And more importantly, those sponsors need to have some faith. They don't want us to turn away. So here's my plan. I'm going to use tax to do this. And tax was the best damn C I ever got in my life here at Cumberland. Professor Floyd gave us multiple choices to L that day. And I managed to pass it, and I'm pleased that I did because it was a graduation requirement, and I was worried. Anyway, now,